are.
Here we are.
That's great.
Welcome to the first night of The Basement. We'll be previewing the horror sci-fi film Zombie Night. And we'll also be discussing the top 10 horror movies for Halloween.
It's actually going to be a preview because the movie hasn't aired yet. It's going to air on this Saturday night, which is October 26th.
I didn't say that? I thought I said preview.
No, you didn't.
Oh, alright, okay, we're previewing it, so...
Yeah.
And then the following week we'll be reviewing it.
Correct. Followed by another preview of the next week's movie on Syfy.
Right.
So let's start with the top 10, shall we, Ken?
Okay, one of my classic picks here is classic one with Jamie Lee Curtis, and it's The Fog.
That was a great movie. I love Jamie Lee Curtis. I love John Carpenter films. I think back in the day, he was just an iconic horror director. He was just so original, and his movies were just scary.
Yeah, and
Loved it.
It's really like the less he showed, the scarier it was.
Oh yeah, he was a modern day Hitchcock at that time. I mean, he's brilliant. I mean, definitely something to check out, worth checking out. All his old work, not the remake, however, not recommended.
And really, he was the originator of the slasher films.
Yes, he was. Number 9 actually comes in at a very close number 9, and it's The Howling. A great classic werewolf movie. If you like werewolf films, this one, it's an old one, but I promise you, it'll scare the heck out of you.
Yeah, it's very dark. It's very intense too. You don't even see horror movies, werewolf movies like that anymore.
No, not really. Not in this day and age.
No.
Why don't you give him number 8, Ken?
Sure. Number 8.
Classic movie. Great. Almost when they liked doing comedies back in horror. I wasn't really a big fan of the comedy horror genre, but Scream at number 8, I think did a good job of that.
Scream?
Yes, I think so.
Scream was good. And also, Scream was a welcome back to, what was his name? Wow, I just forgot his name.
Wes Craven.
Wes Craven.
How could you forget Wes Craven?
I don't know how I forgot Wes
Are you
Craven.
even into movies?
Anyway, so yeah, it was like a welcome back for Wes Craven, and it really brought him back where he had been gone for such a long time. Once he stopped making the Nightmare on Elm Street films.
Yeah, classic movie. Another classic movie too. One of my personal favorites. Again, it is a werewolf movie. It does come in at number 7.
Right.
American Werewolf in London.
A very good one. Actually, Rick Baker won an Academy Award there for a transformation scene, which this day they still say is the best transformation werewolf scene. That's what I. What?
No, it was actually a really good movie. It was great. Let's go to number 6.
Yes, number 6.
What did you think of The Lost Boys?
Lost Boys was actually one of my favorites. I really liked that vampire genre. Came out like in '87, I believe, right?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
It's the vampires on the boardwalk. Jamie Gertz running around. How can you go wrong, right?
Yeah, I mean the Corey friends, Haim and Feldman.
The Corey twins.
Yeah, I mean tragic for Haim, but I gotta tell you, this movie I thought personally really captured the '80s. I mean, it had every element you could possibly want. It had the boardwalk, like you said. It had the long hair that was in back in the day. It had the rock and roll.
Yeah, the music.
The music. I mean, it had 2 different stories going on. It really touched the older brothers type of life that he was going through, and the younger brothers' life. It was almost like 2 different things going on in the movie, and I think they did a really nice job of mixing everything up like that.
Right, showing that relationship.
Movie.
Yeah, that's
Keith Sutherland. I mean, my gosh, great vampire. Classic.
Yeah, they're all really good. Jason Patric, everybody.
Can't forget the saxophone scene. YouTube that. Someone's got a video of the big buff guy playing the sax.
That's
one
funny.
of my favorite scenes.
Awesome.
Number 5.
Another classic, The Shining.
Oh, Jack.
The Shining.
Yes. Stanley Kubrick's version, however. Yes, that's the one we're referring to. Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, don't watch the other one. It's terrible.
Unbelievable. I mean, everything about that movie was scary. I mean, it was scary, but yet it had humor.
Yes.
And it wasn't on purpose. It wasn't forced humor.
Wasn't, you're right. It wasn't forced humor. It was just there.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those things where you had to, as you watched it, maybe somebody next to you would probably think, wow, this guy's got a wicked sense of humor. Well, no. It was, I think some parts of it were probably meant to be funny, but it wasn't forced. But it was very, very good. Very scary. Yeah. Very awesome film.
And they said that he actually wrote the story, right, when he stayed in a hotel as it was being cleaned out before they were going.
Is that right? I had no idea.
Yeah,
about
before
that.
they were closing it up, and he was there that night with his wife. But
Huh.
moving on, The Exorcist.
Yeah, The Exorcist. That's number 4, correct?
I believe so.
Wow, The Exorcist. Wow, yeah. Linda Blair, right?
Yeah, Linda Blair.
That was Linda Blair, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah.
How the hell do I know?
Linda Blair, I believe
Just
it came
kidding.
out, 1979?
Woo! Whatever year it was,
1979.
let me tell you something. It shocked the world.
And
It
it
shocked me.
still scares the hell out of people today.
It gives me nightmares.
Does it?
Yeah, I don't think I've seen it ever since I've seen it when I was a kid.
No?
No,
No.
it disturbed me that much.
And see, the good thing with The Exorcist, whether you watch the newer one with all the added clips or the old one, I can't lose. Either way, it's good.
Yeah, fantastic film. Number 3, it's got to be another Wes Craven film. I don't know if you guys can guess it, but it is Nightmare on Elm Street, the original Nightmare on Elm Street, not that wacky remake.
They don't do remakes.
No,
No.
we don't do remakes.
Yep.
Except for My Bloody Valentine, but that's another
That's
story.
different. Yeah.
That's another show.
That's a whole different thing.
But yeah, Wes Craven.
What came out in, I believe, 1985? Young Johnny Depp,
Great.
before anybody really knew who Johnny Depp was or was going to be.
Awesome.
Yeah. it
Awesome film debut. Awesome characterization. Awesome visuals. I mean,
was special effects by Kevin Yeager.
for back then, that was great. I mean,
Yeah.
what they could do nowadays.
Yeah, that's
I
great.
mean, I can only imagine what they would have done in that
Right.
film originally back then if they had the technology they had today.
Right.
That this film just has like so much expansion capabilities. It's insane.
Yep.
Coming in number 2, one of my personal favorites. More so in some of the sequels, but I do like the original one because the original one is very, very scary. It's Friday the 13th. Voorhees. That
Yep.
Voorhees family, man, they just keep hacking.
Part 1,
and-
right?
Part 1, the original one.
Part 1.
Yes, Mrs. Voorhees. Unbelievable movie.
We could do a whole nother show on just Friday the 13th with every part and rank them in order.
Great films. What do you think? Should we reveal the number 1
number
film?
Number one?
I don't know how you can't guess it. I mean,
it is what it is. It speaks,
it's coming up.
uh,
It's Halloween.
Halloween.
The original, John Carpenter. Can't beat that.
Classic John Carpenter Halloween.
Unbelievable filmmaker, like we said before when talking about The Fog. I mean, John Carpenter, when he screamed onto the screen with Halloween, my goodness, okay? That was just such an iconic character, Michael Myers.
And that opened up the floodgates to Freddy, Jason, everybody.
Just
Which
incredible.
you'll notice
incredible
none of the
film.
Hellraisers made the list because
We just don't like it.
him, man. I don't like him. I just
Yeah,
never like something about it. I don't know.
don't
It doesn't
give
really
us
do anything for me.
don't give us a hard time for that. It's just it's our top 10.
Right.
Argumentative,
Yeah.
but just not with us.
It's argumentative, but we're right. So I mean,
That's
all
all
that
that
matters.
matters. So anyway, we're going to talk real briefly about the preview of a sci-fi movie that's coming up this Saturday, October 26th.
That's right.
It's actually called, what is it called, Ken?
Zombie Island.
Zombie Night.
Zombie Night.
Yes, you can't get that right. There's so many zombie movies out
Yeah,
there. It's so difficult to do that.
That's the problem, especially now, like with the TV show Walking Dead. It's just saturated with zombies, video games. There was, how many Left 4 Dead? I mean, there's
Oh
a million of
my
them.
gosh, there's so many. I mean, zombies are just great. But
Let me ask you something. What do you think about that? Do you think the zombie genre is completely played out? Or is there still room for good zombie
there
movies?
was tons and tons of room for good zombie movies, just like there's always going to be room for good slasher films. I mean, I don't think you can ever kill the genre. I think what we need to do, because I do think it's getting overplayed a little bit with stuff, I think they need to get a little bit more original. Kind of like the way the Lost Boys did with vampires.
Right, put a
At that
different
point,
spin on it, yeah.
there was so many different vampire movies coming out, and the Lost Boys just put a different spin on it. The whole 80s gang with the hair and the rock music and the bikes. They just threw everything at it.
Right.
You know, the holy water with the, with the guns. I mean, that was just fantastic. So, I think we need somebody to do a zombie movie the way they did the Lost Boys back in the day.
Just a little more different or something.
It just needs to be tweaked,
Yeah.
that's all.
Alright.
But anyway, this movie stars, you guys remember, Daryl Hannah, believe it or not.
Of Splash fame.
Can you believe that, guys? Oh my goodness. And one of my favorite actors back in the 80s, Anthony Michael Hall. Man, I missed you. I used to love all your movies and shows. And
Played Brian in The Breakfast Club.
Oh, is that what his name was? I always thought of him as Anthony, so.
Yeah, well,
anyway. great movie
too.
that was too. But we're not talking about
And
comedy.
and don't forget the last Shirley Jones.
Shirley
with all you
Jones.
Partridge Family
Shirley
fans,
Jones.
all
Yes.
4 of you. She was the mother.
That's it.
That's it.
This is actually directed by John Gulager.
Gulliger.
I'm sorry. We're
Sorry.
probably butchering his
You're
name.
probably
I
John.
apologize,
Sorry.
John. Don't get mad at us, okay?
Yeah, I mean, we don't know.
It's not intentional.
Right.
But, we do love you. He did direct the, what was that movie? Piranha 3D
Piranha,
and Feast.
Double D, yeah, and Feast.
So
He's a,
it's a surprise turn for him.
yeah, it's a little bit more this time.
Yeah, so anyway, that sounds good.
But,
this actual movie is also going to be available to the public December 10th on DVD.
Available on video, on DVD. Sorry.
So you can actually purchase that. So if you do miss it on Saturday, have no fear. Put it on your Christmas list.
There you go. So join us next week. We'll be reviewing Zombie Night.
And the next preview of whatever sci-fi movie they decide to make.
Yep.
So we'll see you next time, down deep and under in the basement.